Thanks. Thanks for tuning in to Thoroughbred Horse Racing coverage on Proline TV. Greg DePalma with Jon Hardoon from the Raggers and Sheets. How's it going, John?
Good, Greg. How are you?
Good. Christmas Eve, and we're
Is
working. That's all right.
No time off.
That's because we got some really cool racing going on Thursday, the day after Christmas. So we got a little Christmas present for you. We're going to be doing 3 races from Santa Anita Park. Opening. This is the first day. Is this considered, of course, I would assume the first day of the winter meet for Santa Anita?
Yeah, I would assume so. And it's a big, exciting day. Santa Anita hasn't been open for a while. They're going to reopen now. And day after Christmas, it's been a tradition for many years. They have a lot of stake races. And boy, is this a terrific card. It's going to be the best card of the meet, so you might as well take advantage and play the first day because it's probably all downhill from here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we are going to be doing the 3 races, races 8, races 10, and races 11 at Santa Anita Park. So check that out as we're going to be really, and all 3 of these races are really cool to go over. So we're going to get into it in a little while. But before we do that, we are going to talk a little bit about a couple of minutes. Every time we're doing a show, we're going to update you on what's going on with the Kentucky Derby. We mentioned a little bit about that the last time out. There was only one 10-point race that happened last week. That was the Gun Runner, and that was at Fairgrounds, I believe. And there's only one more 10-point race after this, and that is actually 2 of them on one day. That's January 4th. That's the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn and the Jerome at Aqueduct. And then after that, it's 20-point races starting on the 18th at the Fairgrounds with the LeCompte. So let's there wasn't a lot to go on here because we were obviously considering the Fairgrounds on our show last week, but especially with this race. But unfortunately, there were only 5 horses in the field. So that really screwed up big time. Let's go ahead and take a look at I'm going to fast forward the beginning here, but I'm just going to show the beginning because this is where we had some action, correct?
Well, the 5-horse stumbles bad. That's the Brad.
This is the 5-horse here. Okay.
Yeah, and the horse actually goes.
Whoop! There he goes.
He almost fell off the horse. Speed was gold on Saturday at the Fairgrounds. So most of the races were one wire to wire. The one horse, he took advantage of breaking from the rail, and he actually made a big step forward. I know he was only 7-2, but off the numbers, he was slower, and he got the job done. Again, the bottom horse, the Brad Cox horse, had a big excuse, obviously, at the start, as you saw. So I would take nothing away from his effort. He ran well in defeat. The big disappointment was the 3-horse. I think his name was Magnitude or whatever. He never showed up. He actually had the experience of running around 2 turns already, something most of the field did not do. So he was disappointing, even though he did run second. But the one won easy. And again, speed was the name of the game on Saturday. I wouldn't put too much into that race, to be honest with you.
Okay. So the winner of the race.
Built in 18. He had a 19 and 18.
It's called Built.
Yeah, Built. Correct.
Okay. So just
and we'll get that with lightly raced horses. They're going to jump up and show mark them. What does 1 or 2 races really mean? Not much.
Yeah. Right now, let's see. Points wise, Built is 12th with 10 points, tied with about a bunch of other horses with 10 points. So and then the top points race horses are Jonathan's Way. Matter of fact, you won with Jonathan's Way. When we did a race with that horse, it was a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah.
And Getaway Cars got 16 points. Gaming has 18 points. And the leader is Citizen Bold with 40 points.
By the
Bob
way,
Baffert
I think
with
all
the top
3 of those horses are Baffert horses, if I'm correct.
Yep. Bob Baffert's got all 3. And so Citizen Bold, I guess he's won twice, right? That's why he's got 40.
Yeah.
So there you go. But we've still got a long way to go. Again, we haven't even hit the 20-point races. That'll start with the LeCompte on January 18th. And we'll update you every time there are Kentucky Derby races. We'll try to show you videos and give you a little bit of analysis. And because I know everybody likes to play the Derby futures. whether we believe that that's a good idea or not. I know you guys like to play it, so we'll try to give you the best advice that we can.
And remember, this year is different than the last 3 or 4 years because the Baffert horses are actually running for points, and it makes a difference.
There you go. So that's good to have Baffert back in it again, I guess, right? The best, there should be the best.
Unless you have someone running against Baffert, I guess they're not happy, but yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's better for the sport. It's better for everyone involved.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to start. We'll start in order with race number 8. Again, Santa Anita Park. This should go off about 5:35-ish on Saturday. Excuse me, on Thursday. Don't forget, this is a special. We're recording this on Tuesday for Thursday racing on the 26th of December. It's a 7-furlong race. It's the Grade 1 Malibu. All 3 of these races are Grade 1 races. It's a $300,000 purse for 3-year-olds. And the morning line favorite is the 6. I was gonna say he's an oldie, but he's not an oldie. He's a youngie and a goodie. It's Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner, at 5-2 is the morning line favorite, and the other favorite, not too far behind, is the 1 Ben Tornado at 3-1. Let's start with the 6, John, the Mystic Dan horse, because the one thing that you do see, of course, obviously everything was going great for him, winning the Kentucky Derby, 4 straight races of 10s and 9s. The 9, his best race, was the Kentucky Derby, but this last time out at the Belmont, he just faded and ran out of gas, had a 16, but now he's had a lot of time off. So what do you think? Unfortunately, you're dealing with a horse that's sitting there at 5-2.
It's not going to be on any of my tickets. There's a lot behind the scenes here. First of all, his last win was in the Derby when he happened to have won by a nose. However, he wasn't the best horse that day. He just had the best trip. If you remember, Forever Young and Sierra Leone bounced off each other for a 16th of a mile, while this horse just had a clean trip up the inside. I don't like this horse at all. Not only that, this horse was unable to fly into Santa Anita. He was vanned there because there is no FedEx. Usually the horses go via FedEx. He's coming off of a 19-hour van ride. And, I just think that could take its toll on him. Listen, Kenny McPeak obviously knows what he's doing. But he was coming off a 19-hour van ride to get there. He's the favorite, and I think he's a vulnerable favorite. He will not be on any of my tickets. He wins, I lose.
And the 1 is Ben Tornado, another short price horse at 3-1. But this horse is going in the right direction with the sheet numbers of 12, 9, and 2 7s. The most recent 7 was the Breeders' Cup Sprint race when he lost by half a length. So that's pretty impressive. What about the 1, Ben Tornado?
I'm using him, but I'm not keying off of him. First of all, he's going 7 furlongs today. His last couple of races were at 6 furlongs. Not only that, it's a big disadvantage breaking from the rail going 7 furlongs, especially if you're a speed horse. The 2 Pilot Commander, who's right outside him, is going to go. So he's going to have to really use this horse. Listen, I mean, the horse is good. Jose D'Angelo does an unbelievable job. I'm using the horse. I'm not keying off of him.
All right. The 2, there's 3 horses that I like in this race, and this is definitely one of them. At 6-1, you're getting a Baffert horse. I don't know if this horse can be 6-1 because of Baffert. But by the way, this is one of 3 Baffert horses in the field, and Pilot Commander. Now, the one thing we have to be a little bit potentially worried about is the fact that his last race was the 6, which is the good part. The potential is that he might bounce, but the good news is he's got some time. It'll be a couple months by the time he races, so I'm not totally worried about the bounce. And again, I just love the fact that he might get 6-1. I hope he does.
I don't think he'll get 6-1. He's gone off the favorite in 3 of his 4 lifetime starts. He ran second in the San Vicente, a Grade 2 at Santa Anita 3 races back. I don't know. I just think he's going to hook up with the 1, and to me, the 1 is more solid than the 2. They're both speed horses. They both only have one way to go, so someone's going to have to give. I would bet against the 2.
All right, the 3 is Winterfell, a 15-1 shot. This is another Baffert horse. Velasquez on board. Similar situation to Pilot Commander, is coming off an all-time in a high of 8. Before that, matter of fact, it is a good line for him. since June, 20, couple of 15s, a 12, an 8. So he's headed in the right direction. Not as much time off, though, as Pilot Commander, but you are getting 15-1.
Yeah, he also returns to the Bob Baffert barn. He was originally trained by Baffert. When he shipped east to run at Parks and Laurel, he was transferred to the Brittany Russell barn. She does a terrific job. Back in the Baffert barn, 15-1. I could see people making a case for him. However, I don't like him.
The 4 is Senior Officer. It's a Brad Cox, Flavian Pratt combo. First time Pratt's on board. This horse is only going out for the 3rd time, but very impressively started his career with 2 9s.
Yeah, listen, Cox won't ship unless they're ready to run. There's another sidebar to this whole situation. Flavian Pratt is tied with Jerry Bailey for the most Grade 1 victories in a year, 55. So on Thursday, I guess he's spending the day in California hoping to break the record because, listen, I'm sure he's riding in all 5 of those stake races, graded stake races. So for that reason alone, I would use this horse.
All right. The 5 is another horse that I think you have to use based on the fact that he's not only 12-1, but a Baffert horse who's coming off back-to-back 7s. And also it looks like that he might like Santa Anita. If you look at his last 4 races at Santa Anita, you do have 1 8 and a 7. And the 7 is what he came off last time out in October. So more than enough time to rest. Back-to-back 7s coming in at 12-1 with Rosario on board.
Yeah, out of the 3 Baffert horses in the race, this is the one I like clearly the best. He's got 5 starts at Santa Anita, 2 wins, 3 seconds. He is 0-for-1 at the distance, but I don't care about that. This is a forward-moving horse, and like you said, he's listed at 12-1. He's a must-use, in my opinion.
All right, and by the way, this is the horse that won the San Felipe just before coming in second in the Santa Anita Derby to Stronghold, who is the next horse. Mystic Dan, of course, is 6th. Stronghold is 7th at 8-1. Again, he's the Santa Anita Derby winner. Did not do well at the Kentucky Derby, but keep in mind, you can draw a line through the Derby, which you really should do sometimes. And this horse has really had a lot of good positives going on this year. Nothing but 10s, which is okay. The question is, though, you're looking at single digits from a lot of the horses we talked about, and this horse is only 8-1.
Yeah, listen, the horse is 8-for-9, first or second. He has 9 starts, 3 wins, 5 seconds. That being said, I think he's going to go off shorter than the 8-1.
No.
I don't think he's fast enough yet, but listen, he's an improving horse. He has a license to get better.
Yep.
The fact that he cuts back in distance only helps. And again, an impressive record, especially he's 1-for-1 at Santa Anita, finished second in his only try at 7 furlongs. But I think he's going to be a lot shorter than the 8-1. And for that reason, I am not using him.
Yeah, if you look at this, he is the only horse besides Mystic Dan to win a Grade 1 race. That's Stronghold, again at 8-1, the 7 horse. The 8 horse, this is another horse that there's 3 horses I like. This is the 3rd. Raging Torrent, a 9-2 shot. How can you not like this horse, John? In the 3 previous races before the Breeders' Cup 13, he had a 6, an 8, and a 4. That's very impressive. Nobody's got that type of numbers in this race, the 6 and the 4. He was on a 3-race win streak until the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And he's about 5-1. So I think you have to play him.
This is my top selection. First of all, you could draw a line through the last race. I actually liked him a lot in the Breeders' Cup. That day, he was breaking from the rail going 6 furlongs. He's a lot better going 7. He's 3-for-4 at the distance. Not only that day he was shuffled back. Now he finally draws an outside box. The only thing that was a little interesting is that Antonio Frasu, who rides this horse, usually opted for the 7-horse Stronghold, but I think he's making a mistake here. I love the 8-horse Raging Torrent in this spot.
Now, do you think, is this one of those things where you have to dig deep to find out whether or not, like D'Amato and O'Neill, they're different trainers? So is this political?
He rides for both of them. Obviously, the agent or him had to make a choice. They opted for Stronghold. I think they made a mistake. There's nothing wrong with Frankie Dettori. And I think this horse is going to get a great trip because he's got enough speed to be up there. He's going to get first run. Again, this is my top selection, and I like this horse a lot. This is the best race out of the 3 races we're doing, I think, and I like this horse in this spot.
Okay, so 8, and what's the rest of your plays here,
Okay,
John?
so I'm using the 8 Raging Torrent and Exact is with the 1 Bent Tornado, the 4 Senior Officer, and the 5 Imagination. 8 with the 1, 4, 5. Come back, reverse them as well.
And I am going to go with the 2 Pilot Commander over the 5 Imagination and the 8 Raging Torrent. So there you go. The 8th race at Santa Anita, a 7 furlong race called the Grade 1 Malibu Stakes. Okay, now let's take a look at race number 10. And this is going to be another 7 furlong race, the Grade 1 La Brea, and another 3-year-old race, another $300,000 purse. So everything's very similar to what we just did in race number 7. The difference is we have 11 horses in this race. Hopefully all 11 will make it there on post time. This will go off about 6:40 Eastern on Thursday. And let's go ahead and take a look at the morning line favorites. Right now, we've got the 9, a 3-to-1 shot called Hope Road. You've got the 7, One Magic Philly, a 4-to-1 shot. And the 2, Accuracy is next in line, a 5-to-1 shot. So we'll start with the morning line favorite, John. Hope Road is a 9. Is getting the 9 position at 3-to-1. This is a Baffert horse. So once again, Baffert has 4 horses out of the 11 in this race. This is the favorite, coming off a 12 last time out in a grade 3 race at Del Mar. But before that, he had 3 straight 8s, and he's on a 4-race win streak ever since the trainer changed from Sadler to Baffert.
Well, this is a serious horse here. Listen, the horse has never done anything wrong for Baffert. 4 starts, 4 wins. So you certainly have to respect it. The horse is also in a good spot. He's drawn outside. He's got the 9 post. The problem is he's going to probably be the favorite. I was between him and I was between Accuracy, and I went to Accuracy as the 2 horse as my top selection only because of price. I think the 2 will be a lot longer price than the 9 because, again, the 9 is coming off a 4-race winning streak. He goes for his 5th in a row. But I lean towards the 2 Accuracy. I like the fact that he's cutting back to 7 furlongs out of a 2-turn mile race at Del Mar. She's never run 7 furlongs. All her last 3 races were all distant races, a mile and 16th, and a mile. Rispoli Sticks, he's ridden her in all 4 starts. Again, Mike McCarthy, terrific trainer, does a terrific job. And for that reason, I'm going to end up keying the 2 Accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, Accuracy has won his last 2 races by a combined 22 lengths. He had the 7 in October in the Santa Anita win, breaking his maiden. And then maybe predictably, even though he had some time off, he did bounce a little bit to the 9, but he still won the race by 7 lengths. So nothing to not like about what Accuracy has done so far after 4 races in his career, starting with a 14 in August. By the way, the other favorite is actually the one I like, and that's the one I'm going to put on top. One Magic Philly, the 7. Once again, you mentioned Pratt is on board, so maybe that's a good thing there. First time he's on board. Matter of fact, Frizou was the rider up until now. You got the 7 in September. That was the 2nd win. Followed it up with a grade 3 win at Santa Anita. So he's got the win over this track. And then came back the last time out. That was the Breeders' Cup race, though. Once again, you get these Derby races, these Breeders' Cup races, and sometimes they just don't go all that well. Still ran a 10. I'm not going to be too worried about that. By the way, he only lost by 2 lengths as well. So even though he finished 6th, it wasn't like it was a really bad race. That's why he finished with a 10. Anyway, that's going to be my top horse.
Well, you got jockeys playing musical chairs here. Juan Hernandez, who always rides the 11, Cavallari, switched and decided to ride the 9. I guess he had a choice. They're both Baffert horses. He's ridden both of them, so he went to the 9. You know, Cavallari, nothing wrong. 2 starts, lightly raced horse, and it's another Baffert horse that's sent to 1. So I was using him in my exactas as well. I like the 2 Accuracy exactas with the 7.
Oh, yeah, but we're nowhere near done. So
I know. I'm just telling you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's all right. It's okay. All right. So make the viewers just wait. Make them have to watch more video. That's helpful for us. Let's go through the field. The 1 is Splendora, a 12-to-1. This is one of the 4 Baffert horses with Rosario on board for the first time, coming off back-to-back wins. He's slow on the numbers, John, as we see with an 11 last time out, which means maybe he's going to get a bounce because it's a 5-point new top, but he is 12-to-1.
Yeah, but I don't like her. I mean, listen, she has 3 starts, 2 wins, and a second, so I could see, making some sort of a case for her, but I think she's slow off the figures.
3 is Kinza, an 8-1 shot, another Baffer trained horse with Velasquez on board. This horse has had 8 months off. We have not seen this horse since April, and he doesn't have any single digits either. The best we've seen out of this horse was an 11. That was the race in February. He does have 2 grade 3 wins, though, and both of them were at Santa Anita.
But she's slow. She would have to come back. And listen, she's allowed to get better. She's 3 years or so late in her 3-year-old campaign. Next week, they all turn 4. Everyone's birthday is on January 1st, but she's just too slow off the figures for me.
Yeah, and she took 8 months off, so we have no idea why. So that's usually not a good thing.
But she's coming back in a stake race, so that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
There's something wrong with her. Baffert certainly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he might be laughing last
Exactly.
with Kinza in Victory Lane on Thursday. All right, the 4 is Sugarfish, a 10-1 shot. Also looks a bit slow. Does have 2 grade 2 wins. We got to keep that in mind, but no single digits.
No, again, she's like a lot of other horses in the race. She's like in the second or third tier. You have, the top contenders, then you have the next tier. She would be in the third tier to me.
Yeah, and her numbers also seem to be going the wrong way. 13, 12, and 15 in her last 3. The 5 is a long shot that looks a little bit too slow. The 6, same thing. Even though the 6th Copion did run a 9 in January, and the first 3 races were 11, 9, 11, which is really good. But then what happened in the race in April, which again was 8 months off, something probably happened.
Well, I mean, look at this horse. In her second start of her life, she was thrown against the wall. She was thrown into a graded 3, then a grade 3, then last time out a grade 2. So obviously they think a lot of this horse. She's extremely well bred. Mandela could certainly get him ready. And this horse is a bit of a concern to me. I think she has somewhat of a shot at 12-1. She ran an 11 as a 2-year-old. That's big. You can run anything off of that. I would consider throwing this horse in somewhere in the mix.
Yes, especially at 12-1.
Correct.
And then the 8 horse, Sandy Bottom, Saez on board for the first time. Rispoli was 3 for 3. But Rispoli had to choose because he was also with McCarthy and chose your horse, the 2 Accuracy. So I guess we understand why you chose that horse. But Sandy Bottom hasn't really done anything wrong. I mean, she was just slow. She started off her career slow with 22, then 15, then 13. So she's certainly heading in the right direction. This is only her 2nd race since last October.
Yeah, listen, these are good horses. This is a grade 1 stake. So if a horse jumped up and outperformed what we thought that she was going to do, I wouldn't be surprised. She certainly has a shot. And she's like other horses in the race, but you can't use them all.
And the 10 tomorrow is an 8-1 shot. Only the 2nd race since the Breeders' Cup in 2023. Ran to 13th at Del Mar. Ran to 13 at Del Mar in November, John. And by the way, Santa Anita race, that was in November. The Breeders' Cup race, it also was the worst race that this horse has run. It could just be a coincidence, but it is something to note.
Correct.
And the 11 is Cavalieri, another Bob Baffert horse. And this horse has only run twice, a 10 and a 12.
Yeah, and she's going to run the 10. Originally I was going to use her underneath, but I'm going to switch to the 6. Copion, I think, is the way you pronounce it.
Okay.
Again, the 11, lightly raced, obviously could run anything. She certainly has the 10, 2 starts back to go to. She's cutting back in distance. Not easy to run a 10 first time out like she did going a mile. But again, it's Baffert, and he's allowed to do anything because he's a great trainer. Yes.
And they paid nice money for this horse, too. Yeah. So there's definitely something to like. And again, you got good odds at 10-1. All right. You're going with the 2, John? What else you going with?
The 2 is my top selection, Accuracy. Let's play exact. Is a little bit of the 6, the 7 for sure, the 9 for sure. Hope Road, that would be my main punch, 2-9. And then I'll even throw in the 11. 2 with the 6, 7, 9, 11. Main punch here should be 2-9, 9-2.
Okay. And since I'm going with the 7 up top, I'm gonna take the 2 horses. I agree with you with the 6 and 11. But I'm not going to have 4 horses following my top one. So I'm going to go with 2 other horses that you did not take, the 3 and the 8.
So
I'm
what
gonna
do you
go.
have? I'm confused.
I'm going 7 over 3/8.
7 over 3/8. Okay.
Correct. I like the 6 and the 11, but you already took those 2 horses, and I don't want to have 5 horses on my ticket. So
Why
we'll
not?
go with that. All right. So there you go. That's race number 10. That is going to leave us with one more to go. And this is going to be the race. This is going to be race number 11 at Santa Anita. And this is when we're going to cut off here for our viewers over on Horsepower PSN. We don't have to hopefully keep doing this very often, as long as we start seeing the numbers perk up a little bit over on Proline TV. So make your way over to Proline TV, hit the subscribe button. We showed you how to do it last time.
Cost you nothing. It's free.
Yep. We'll show you again maybe on our next show. We'll keep updating every once in a while. We'll give you some tutorials on exactly how to subscribe over on Proline TV, which, as John said, is free to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And instead of you going, oh, what happened to that free pick? It's over on Patreon. It cost me money. Well, it doesn't cost you anything now. You just head on over to a different channel, and that is Proline TV. Okay, so let's wrap up here with the final race on our card, John. It's race number 11, a mile. We finally have to stretch out a little bit, 1.25 miles, and a turf race, hillside turf. This is the Grade 1 American Oaks. Same purse, $300,000. Fillies, though, 3-year-olds, yes, but these are fillies. So we're going to go filly 3-year-olds. And the morning line favorite is the 8. She Feels Pretty, a 7-5 shot with Sherry DeVoe and John Velasquez, who actually, if you take a look at it, they have already combined for 2 Grade 1 wins with She Feels Pretty. And then everything is kind of wide open after that. You have 13 horses in this one. And I think that's definitely, even if you like the 8, the good news is that you have a lot to choose from. And maybe you can, end up with a pretty decent exacta. But yeah, what about the 8? I think She Feels Pretty looks really strong in this one, John. She does have 2 8s and a 7 over her last 3.
She's a serious horse. I mean, the only question may be 1.25 miles distance, because she's run it once when she finished 3rd. But every number in her life is basically faster than anything else runs in here. Sherry DeVoe does a terrific job. She ships well. And Johnny V's taking the mat, and Johnny V's ridden her in 6 of her 7 lifetime starts. This is the winner, I think. She's going to be a short price, but deservedly so.
Yeah, we didn't give you short prices with our previous 2, but every once in a while you just
listen. We didn't give short prices because we didn't like the short prices, but sometimes you have to take what they give you, and this is one of those situations.
Absolutely. So we're both going to go with the 8 as our top choice. So let's go ahead and see if we can find something to combine with the 8 to make a little bit money, if that's possible. And I got 4 horses that I like, but the first 2. No, Omaha Girl and Sakura Blossom are 30-1 for a reason. Nothing there, right?
They're slow.
All right. Now the 3. This is a horse that definitely interests me. Unfortunately, it's only 6-1, so probably won't make much money off of it. But Medoro is a Grade 3 winner, and the sheet numbers actually have been pretty good. You know, she started off with a 17 and a 14 last year. This year went 14, 13, 10. And the last 2. Not so good because they've actually backtracked a little, but they are just 11s. But this horse at 7 for 7 in the money with 4 wins, and is at 6-1.
How about 3 for 4 at Santa Anita with the 2nd? So her 4 starts at Santa Anita. She's never finished worse than 2nd. You have to respect it. The problem, like you said, is the 8-3 exacta going to be paying anything? I don't know.
Yeah. Next up is another horse that I think is worth considering. Unfortunately, the horse is 4-1. Same kind of line, 14, 14, 13, 11. So heading in the right direction, keeps getting better, coming off the 11 last time out in an easy win over at Kentucky Downs. So what about the 4, Kathy Marissa?
I agree with you. You could certainly use a 1 for 2 at Santa Anita. Tried the distance once when she finished 2nd. A terrific trainer in Richard Dutrow. He brought a string of about 15 horses to spend the winter at Santa Anita, and this is one of them.
Okay, next up, I'm just marking my thing here. The 5. Now, getting a little bit better odds here out of the horses that I think are worth considering. So definitely, I think Watchtower is worth considering. She's a little bit slower, but at least she's improved. 15, 14, 2 13s, and a 12. She keeps getting better increment, whatever that word is. And she's got a grade 3 win. She's coming off that grade 3 win last time out at Santa Anita, and you're getting 10-1.
I agree with you. This is a must. I'm using this horse in the exactas, and this horse is at least 10-1. So why not?
Yes, that's what we're looking for. The 6 is strutting, 15-1 shot, who's only won once out of 10 tries, and is obviously, as you can see there in the form, is a European horse. First time we saw this horse here in the U.S. was at Del Mar, ran at 12 last month, actually just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but I don't like her. I mean, listen, again, she's 15-1, so I never knock anybody that wants to play a price horse, because obviously every horse is a play at some sort of a price. That being said, she didn't make my cut.
Yeah, I mean, you like the 15, you like the 12, but you look and you go, wait, this horse hasn't done anything. I mean, you got to win some races, or at least come. I mean, at least there's 3 place, so that's okay. Obviously, if you're looking for a setup with the one, so it's not I guess it's not the worst idea. All right, next up is the 7, Vibez, a 20-1 shot that just looks a little too slow.
Yeah, coming off a 2-race winning streak. However, it ends on Saturday. It ends on Thursday. Sorry.
Those, I know. Those, by the way, were 2 14s, just so everybody knows. Then you got She Feels Pretty. The 8, the 9 is another 30-1 shot. The only good thing about Baltic Fire is that she is an improving horse. So she kind of keeps getting better. Her last race was a 12, but it's still a little slow.
And she's never been this far. She's been going mostly a mile in her races. I think this may be too far for her.
The 10 is Shadalas. And Shadalas is a Pratt horse, so that should get you up a little bit there. But also very slow. This year we only got 13, 17, and 13.
Surprising that Pratt takes this mount. I mean, she looks very slow. Returns to the Glatt barn. When she ships out of town, she runs under a different name back to Southern California, where Glatt does the most training. She's bred to handle the distance, so that's good. She's been 1.25 miles at Saratoga 2 starts back, but the races are just too slow.
And what's all this trainer change stuff? What do they know? They work together?
Yeah, I mean, when Glatt does not train at Churchill, so when they go to Churchill, they run under Grant Forrester's name. The same thing with Sarah. Glatt usually doesn't ship, so when they ship the horse out of town, they run under this trainer's name. But basically, it's Glatt.
By the way, this horse does have a grade 2 win. That was in Santa Anita last year, and that horse, the horse ran only an 18 though in a race. Wow, an 18 and a grade 2 win.
Well, that was for 2-year-olds, but yes, you're correct about that. And listen, why not? I don't know what to say. The horse is super bred. She's out a gun runner, so she's really bred to run all day. Her 1 start at Santa Anita was a 2nd. And believe me when I tell you, she'll be a lot shorter than 15-1 with Pratt on. So she's really not value. She's slow, and she's going to be shorter than the 15-1 you see.
Yeah. I mean, if you get 15-1, that's different. Yeah. All right. The 11 is Mizian, a 20-1 shot, also coming in with 13s in the last 2 starts.
Also tries 1.25 miles for the first time. Again, Mike McCarthy does a terrific job. Rispoli's a terrific jockey, but I don't think so.
Valence, the 12 is a 30-1 shot, 7 out of 8 in the money, first or second. That's the good part. Also, as far as the numbers, you do have on turf, 20, 16, 15, and 12. The horse has gotten better all 4 races this year on turf. Went to dirt and didn't. I mean, we don't really care. But the fact is, are these considered minor league tracks?
Yeah, that's a big time minor league track. This is Canterbury Downs, and I don't see it. I mean, I don't think the horse can handle the distance. She's not bred to go this far. She's going 1.25 miles. They're shipping her here, I guess, because of her impressive record, 8 starts, 3 wins, 4 seconds, like you said. But this is the major leagues, again, 30-1.
And 12.
Yeah, and the 12 posts, so kind of up against it.
Yeah, if I'm going to take an outside post horse, I'm taking a 13. Rashmi, Rosario on board for the first time, it looks like. But Rashmi has gotten better each time. And she also has run back-to-back 11s at Del Mar. Both of those wins pretty easily as well. Again, first time Rosario, outside post, but 12-1. We're looking for a long shot. I'm going to put the 13 in my mix.
I could see it. Jonathan Thomas, by the way, the trainer of this horse, is coming off of an unbelievable meet at Del Mar. The last meet they just had, the fall meet.
Okay.
They had the turf festival. This guy, I think, won 2 or 3 of those races. So everything, every horse he shipped out to Southern California has run well. So people that want to make a case for him, I certainly get it.
All right, John. So you were both going with the 8. What are you going to try to do with the 8 and?
I'm going to take what they give me and putting the 8 over the 3, 4, and 5. That's she feels pretty over Midoro, Catherine, Marissa, and Watchtower. 8 over the 3, 4, 5.
Oh, as simple as that.
Easy.
Yeah, I'll go the 3, 5 as well. And again, the 13. So I'll go 3, 5, and 13. And then the other 2 I would look at potentially, depending on how the odds go out, would be the 6 and the 10. Especially with Pratt on board on the 10. If you can get 15-1, why not? But
so what are you playing? I got to write it.
8 over 3, 5, and 13.
8 over 3, 5, and 13 with a big G on top of that. All righty, Greg. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's a Christmas special here on Proline TV. We're going to be back in about 10 days or so. And we're going to keep an eye on Santa Anita. But like you said, I don't know if we're going to get lucky with any races as good as these. So
no, you're not going to get another card like this. Maybe on Santa Anita Derby Day or something. But the opening day has been forever the best day of the meet, and it's going to be again this year.
Yeah, next week, on Saturday, you do have the Mr. Prospector, a grade 3 at Gulfstream, and you do have a grade 2 Joe Hernandez, and the grade 3, the Las Flores at Santa Anita. When we come back next week, there is a grade 2, the San Vicente at Santa Anita. So we're going to try to get into that one. And then don't forget, as we said, with the Kentucky Derby races, on that same day, the 4th, you've got the Smarty Jones and the Jerome, the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn, the Jerome at Aqueduct.
Yeah, let's see how those fields fill out, and we'll pick the best ones for the fans.
Absolutely, and that's going to wrap it up. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody enjoys their holiday, and we'll see you again next week.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everybody, whatever you're celebrating. Enjoy, take time with your family, and we'll be back next week. Thank you, Greg. Stay safe and be well.